Hi, good evening and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Just thought I'd do this video. Don't know if it's going to be of any interest or value, but now that the winter's come in, we're now in a couple of weeks away from Christmas, dark night, salt on the road. I thought great opportunity to get some of those jobs I've been meaning to do all year round on the bike. So what have I got now? So what I'm going to be doing is pretty much a cosmetic, but just a care process of just de-gunking the bike. Now you can see here I've taken the wheel off. Here's the Moschino forged wheel off the Pikes Peak. You can see I've taken the brakes off, so I'm going to clear all the brake calipers, look at the pads, a general clean. In fact, while I'm talking about pads, let me just show you these. So these are the pads that came out. I've cleaned them up a bit. I did think there was very little meat on those pads, but doing a bit of research, they only have about 2mm, 3mm max on these things new. So there's plenty of life left in them. And the pads I've got there, they're not the Pikes Peak pads. When I went to get service, they didn't have them in, but they're the Panigale V4 pads. So a little bit harder, a little bit designed for track days and fast roads, but I've loved them. They've been brilliant. Really bite well, loads of feel through it. Really sort of comforting, confident brake. Now, of course, we've got this the Stylemas, one of the best calipers on the market. I had them on the V4S that I had. Never had them before. Oh, sorry, I have had them before. I had them on my KTM, the 890 Duke R. So they're really good. But again, it's just get it up on the stand, get the wheel off, and literally just start to look underneath the belly of the bike. Because even though when you wash the bike, you don't really get under the belly, the wheels in the way, the calipers in the way. And what I'm going to try and do is going to try and get all these cleaned. I've already sort of tried to use a bit of wire wool, very sort of fine wire wool, but I've got some of those metal polishing pads that you can just attach to a drill. So I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to see if I can get this belly pan off. Doesn't look too complicated, although one of the bolts here goes into the I think it's a main engine bolt, so I just need to be careful. I've taken the heel guard off here and here. Now on this one, on the back exhaust, let me just show it to you here. I've actually tried to put a bit of black paint on where my boots have scraped it all, but I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to send that round the corner to a little garage who do powder coating, and I'm going to get the powder coated. Again, just a cosmetic stuff. But you can see here the grime on the exhaust. Now, it's in good order. Obviously, this is the straight-through race system, the Aquaprovic, and the remap. But it's just, yeah, just look, it's just muck and grime. So I'm going to try and clean the whole area if I possibly can. And just take the opportunity of, while it's off the road, although I will ride it throughout the winter on occasion, but it's pretty much off the road. So I'm just going to do those, as I said, little jobs. Anyway, I'll put your teeth back in. I'll come back in a second and I'll just show you what I'm doing and how I'm getting on with those exhaust cleaners. If any of you have done this before, give me a shout. Let me know there's a better way of doing it. I've seen stuff around using bleach, heavy duty bleach to clean it off, but I've also used what have I got it here? Have I got it here? It's a polish. Let me have a look. I'll show you what I've got. So it's the Auto Glim metal polish. So I'm going to try a little bit of that. And while I'm here, just let me show you what I've done recently. Me and my lad, my 13-year-old, put these up. Previously, I just had coat hooks and it was a mess. Everything was on top of everything else. I'm also going to do a review of this. This is my new airbag vest. Really pleased with that. Hope never to use it in anger. But I'll do a bit of a review. Obviously, it won't have come off the bike, obviously, but I'll just talk about why I've chosen this and the features of it. Anyway, keep in touch with me on this in the next part of the video, and we'll see how we get on. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys. Okay, so I'm now back at the bike. It's actually the next night now. What I've been thinking about is whether I remove this whole underbelly sump guard. It's in 3 pieces. It's not too difficult to get off, but to get it off, I've got to remove the crash bars. I've got to take out just on this side here a bolt which goes into the main engine casing. I've decided against doing that just at the moment because I'm not quite sure what result I'm going to get, if anything, with what I'm going to try and do now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if this comes up nicely, as I'm like. I don't want it to become like, you know, polished brass or, you know, polished, you know, stainless steel, but I just want it to be clean. Now, I know it's going to get dirty again throughout the year, but at least this way I'm keeping on top of it. I'll clean it off. I remember when I bought the bike a year ago, it looked brand new, and that's what I'm trying to get something back to. Now, it might be that I do this and it doesn't come up the way I'd like it, in which case I'll mostly leave this guard on. I'll just clean where I can. But I obviously want to get some ACF 50, or there's another product I use. I'll put it up in the link. XCP, I think it's called. So I just want to treat it. I want to see what the condition is underneath, see if there's any rust. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the front now and see where we go. So what I've bought, I've got this literally off Amazon. For those who've done metal work in the past at school or whatever, you had these rotating buffer pads. So there's a variety of them here. They're like lint with different compound, rough and smooth, I don't know what we'd call this, wax, abrasive wax. I put the green on so far. I believe that's the one to go first, and then the red is like the sort of the finer court stroke, the finer grade one. And literally, it's a bit of a trial and error, guys. I'm using this one here now, and I'm literally going to use this cordless drill just to see where we get to. Now, I've already taken what I call sort of the dirt off with sort of fine wire wool. So yeah, so let's just see how we go. So I'm not putting it on a fast speed. I'm just going to put it on nice and gently and see where we go. So immediately I can see this polishing up nicely. I don't want to do too much because the last thing I want to do is scratch all of these, but I don't know where that comes across, but I'm getting a nice bright reflection off the lamp there, and it's definitely got a nice sort of satin finish compared to here. So I have different shaped pads, but I'm just going to continue with this one because it sort of seems to be doing the trick. And I said I don't want to be doing too much. Okay, so there's just a little bit. Let me just get some WD-40 and just clear that up and see what I can see. Just give me 1 second. Well, literally just a bit of WD-40 on a rag. Okay, well that's definitely cleaned it up. As I said, the light is quite a yellow light, so it's difficult to see the sort of finish, but it's definitely looking cleaner. Obviously these are stainless steel, they're not the titanium ones, so you know, you're not expecting to see any corrosion or rust or anything. You can see like watermarks on it, but again, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm literally just looking for a nice clean appearance. As I said, I'll put a protection film on it once I finish, but I'm just going to carry on now and see where I get. What I might do is use just a different shape of pad, maybe something like this, to see if I can get it in, see if it's any better. Oh, it's quite big actually, that one. So I've got a couple of smaller ones here. So What I might do, I might put the red wax on here, or it's not a wax, obviously it's a rubbing compound, but I'll put that on and have another go at this. I don't want to do the whole lot just yet. I just want to work on a little area. So let's see how we get on with this next application. There we go. Yeah, quite pleased with that. So I'm just going to work around now, just slowly, take my time. And the next sort of job I've got to do is I've got to work my way through the exhaust towards the back. The next job then is to get these brake calipers sorted, which I'll sort in a moment. I've actually ordered a new set of pads. When I looked back on the video before, on the edit, and I saw the pads through the lens of a camera really, and then I actually just checked online a new set, and it did look like it was sort of, I would say, 75% worn from the new pad depth. So I have ordered a new set of, I think it's SBS double H sintered pads for the not for the Panigale but for the Pikes Peak, so they're the OEM ones for this. So they should be coming in the next few days, so I'm going to look at them. And I think, to be honest with you, it's rather than sort of work on the margins of whether those other pads were meaty enough, best be safe than sorry. You know, I'm not trying to save pennies. That's not the issue. It's just whether I thought that they'd actually still had a lot of life left in them. But it looks like they are pretty well worn down, so I have decided to replace them. I'm also waiting for some brake caliper cleaner from Amazon. It hasn't arrived. Apparently there's some delivery issue. So that's on the way through, but I'm going to work my way through this. I'll show you little bits as I progress, and yeah, let's see where we get to with this. Thanks for watching so far. Go. Okay, so as I said, I'm not looking to get shiny reflection in the pipe. I'm not looking even to remove what looks like, obviously, understandable stone chip marks. Looks like little water marks, these little black marks. But as I said, I'm not wanting to make it look as if it's a piece of jewellery. I am, however, just looking to keep it really clean and protect it from corrosion. And seeing that the bike's not being used a lot at the moment, why not spend the time just doing a few of those little TLC jobs? And it is TLC, but I suppose my attitude is, if you keep your bike relatively clean and do look after it, even if it is just cosmetic, it'll give you the opportunity to see stuff that you might not have otherwise seen. And it's just taking a bit of pride in it. And you know, these aren't cheap things, and they bring us a lot of joy. So just give it a little bit back. Oh God, I'm talking as if it's a bloody human being or an animal. But you know what I mean, guys. It's just keep on the top of things. Not let it build up too much. And as you can just about see here, I've got all the Evotech radiator and oil guards. Again, with the wheel off, it just gives you access to stuff that you otherwise couldn't see, even underneath there. Things that you just wouldn't most probably clean when you wash the bike. You know, you get all the forks right down below where you would otherwise miss, whether they're behind the mud guards. So yeah, just good to see what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with this now. I'm going to try and go through the side and do on here. But that's really all I'm looking for, and I'm quite pleased with that. As I said, I'll put some rust protector on. It will most probably burn off as soon as the bike starts and gets hot, but it'll leave a residue on, maybe a film, I don't know. I wouldn't bet that it would leave a residue on. It would just must be burn off and go to vapour, but I'll put it on anyway now that I've got access to everything. because that's about all I can really do, really. I must be doing another video for the wheel, where I'll get the bearings out, check the wheel, check the tyres properly. They're relatively decent new tyres. I'll check the discs, I'll put the new pads in, clean the calipers. So that's a second job. So I'll do that as a separate video. But I'll just record a few more bits of what I'm doing towards the back end of the bike on the exhaust. And thank you for watching. If I'm being an idiot and doing stuff you think is absolutely pointless, I won't feel offended if that's what you want to say in the comments below. Anyway, just idling away the hours on a horrible evening. I'm doing a video, love.
Oh, sorry. You've got me sitting in action.
No. I'm showing people how to clean an exhaust pipe.
Oh, it sounds enthralling.
Oh, no,
Can I
no.
watch?
No. You can subscribe and like if you wish. Oh God, here's the dog. Okay, I've done the rear now, which is well, it's literally from the little silencer box here up. That's just a shadow there, a yellow shadow. And I haven't used the compound brushes. I've literally just used a bit of wire wool, and it's really come up lovely. A bit of wire wool, bit of polish, and yeah, I won't be doing any more than that. That's as good as I want it to be. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of this Auto Glim metal polish. I've done one here. I'm just doing the one from the front left cylinder. Obviously this bike's a V4, so we've got 4 headers. This has got the Ducati OEM race system, so it's basically got the central cap removal. It has a bit of a silencer, but it's a straight through silencer with some wadding in there, metal wadding, just really to cut the noise a little bit, but it's straight through. The back silencer's got a 2-pipe setup, whereas the standard non-race, non-decat one is just got a single pipe in and out of the rear silencer, but this has got the 2. I've actually taken the little baffles out of the rear. It sounds rather nice. I was looking online the other day at a Leo Vince complete decat middle pipe. They're silly money, brand new. There's one for sale, 350 quid second hand, but it looked like in really good condition in the box. Had all the paperwork, instructions. But anyway, as I said, maybe start spending my money a little bit more on keeping the bike into its nice natural position, condition, I should say. I think this bike's going to be a keeper. I really do. I chatted to my brother the other day. I think, well, I'm 60 now. If I'm going to retire from biking, never. Maybe the day before I die is the plan. Hopefully a couple of more decades, a few more decades to come. Keep this, and then I'm considering just getting a little mid-sized bike, whether that's a little adventure bike, like an 890 KTM, or the small GS even, the 850 GS, is that the one? Or the F850, I'm not quite sure what it is. Or even go back and get myself a little naked bike like the 890 Duke R, maybe in the next sort of 18 months or so. I'm hoping to finish work in the next couple of years. So yeah, just sort of keep this, use this for touring and fun, because this is a brilliant bike. It really is. It's so powerful, versatile. 180 horsepower. It's the most powerful bike I've had, and I've had all sorts of sports bikes, MT10s, Fireblades, BMW S1000s. You know, I've had all those bikes. But this, you can do 400, 500 miles in a day on it, take it to a track day, go through the rain, ride in the sunny climbs, fully loaded up, load of wind protection, fantastic technology and safety on it, loads of character, looks fantastic, got all the best tricks on, toys and components. I'm really, really, really enjoying this. But then again, I've always, well, not always, I have said in the past, this bike's going to be a keeper. And 9 months later, I change. So I don't know, who knows. Anyway, I'm really pleased with the way that's come up. So I'm going to finish off now, do the rest. I might just take a couple of photographs once to finish. You can see the back end on it. But I hope you found this a little bit interesting and just brings a little bit of interest on your TV screen, computer screens or mobile phone screens. in these dark, miserable winter evenings. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel if you've been with us a while. As I said, I've got a couple of reviews to come up. One for my airbag vest. I've got a new bag, a rear duffel, which is the Moscow, I think it's called the Alpine duffel bag. So I'm really pleased with that. I'll do a review on that one as well. So yeah, just do a little bit of content across the winter. So thank you for watching. I'm rambling on a bit. Give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Catch you all soon. Enjoy yourselves, and yeah, throw us some comments below and let's have a chat. Thank you for watching. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.